All right, Jacob. So today we're PalCast, your first official podcast exclusively dedicated to PalWorld, a game I have not played, but you have played pretty significantly. So open us up by explaining the fuck this weird Pokemon shit is.
All right. So, first things first, I want to say it was a funny experience with it because me and my friend Josh, who has talked about Pokemon on this podcast before, for like a brief moment, me and him been waiting for this game for quite a while. We've known about it for like 2 years. We're just waiting for it, right? So it comes out, and we start playing it, right?
As you do.
Immediately we get it. We bought it literally like maybe an hour after it came out. Waited until he got off work the next day and then hopped on. The funny part about the story is we started playing it. We're playing it for a good 2 hours. My other friend Trey messages me while we're playing it and sends me the link to it. And he goes, "Have you ever heard of this game?" And I'm like, "Hey Trey, we're playing that right now. We've been playing that for 2 hours." He's like, "What? I've just heard about it." And I'm like, me and Josh have known about this game for years. We've just been waiting. And so he gets it. But the best part was about that scenario is he had to jump through several hoops to not see that we were playing it.
Mm-hmm.
Because he went to the Steam page, and the Steam page tells people when you own a game or when you're playing it. Like, it has like green icons when someone's actually playing it, blue if they just own it. And so it's like he could have just easily been like, "Oh, they're playing it right now," and got it and played with us. But literally, the second I told him, I was like, "We got it, we're playing it right now. It's pretty good if you like Pokemon." He's like, "I'm going to get it anyway." And he hops on, he starts playing with us. We then got our other friend Noah to hop on. We're not on like a public server. We're on a private server because the public servers are all full.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm pretty sure the other day, like a day after it went live, PalWorld, the people who made it, had an emergency meeting with Epic Games to get more servers.
Yeah. I read about that.
Which I thought was cool. They were like, do you remember when GTA 5 came out and the servers were like fucked for weeks?
I tell you, not so much for 5 because I didn't play the online of 5 I didn't plan to play it until I beat the story of 5, right? So I missed that, but I was right there for day one when Ark couldn't keep a fucking server running to save its goddamn life for like a half a week. Well, I bought that day one, like the pre-install thing comes out. Me and a friend hop on a server, and we can't even move. Like we're going to make characters, and it's like no one else is loading in around you. Nothing's happening, and you look on the thing, and it's like the world is full, but there's no one and no dinosaurs and no trees and no textures. And it would stay like that. Like it wouldn't fix. It would just be stuck like that. Like unless you got hella lucky. So.
Okay. Yeah. I want to add something about PalWorld, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just adding something about it. I want to go and add. People are all like, "Oh, it's a clone of Pokemon." I'm like, I wanna point out something. It's a clone of multiple games. It has the UI and tech tree of Ark. Like literally, if you pull up like the inventory, it looks exactly like an Ark Survival Evolved UI. It has the exploration, the gliding features, and even like sound bites of Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
And then, it has Pokemon Arceus catching style and like Pokemon moving. It has HUD elements of all of them.
Yeah.
And people are only pointing out like the Pokemon thing, and I'm like, I feel like the sound bites could be closer to getting them copyright striked than the Pokemon.
Yeah.
Or the pals. We're just gonna call them Pokemon for the sake of it. I don't care. The other funny thing that I read is that the models for the game, like all the pals, Pokemon, the guns and stuff, were all made by like some kid just out of junior high.
Fair enough. I mean, they're not expressly like top of the line detailed models anyway, so I could believe that. I don't know if that's meant to be like. I just hope they paid him.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like a flex or anything. Because one of the things that I pointed out to my friends, I'm like, everyone's messing around about the art. Like, yeah, the art style is like Pokemon. If they're gonna get copyright strike for like the models or like the Pokemon, it would be the models. Because if you take some of them and actually like enlarge them or shrink them, it's almost like one for different Pokemon, like
Help me
from
out here
a
because
3D game.
I sorry, I heard everything you said,
Continue.
but I've been thinking now. The one thing I never heard about this game until you started talking about it, right?
Yeah,
But the one thing I'd have known about it beforehand is like I saw probably a couple of like the curators I follow on Steam, right? Had
yeah,
posted it and been like in the recommendations, and a lot of them use phraseology similar to Pokemon with guns, right? And
yeah.
I've seen enough of it to know that that's not quite the situation, but I
It
am.
is though.
Well, no, I mean like I don't know. It's like I think if you tell me blank with blank, I'm going to assume it's just the exact style of game, but with that feat. You know what I mean? Like if you tell me it's Pokemon with guns, and I imagine it's like a real Pokemon game, cheery atmosphere, all the towns, all the NPCs. You know what I mean? Not like a survival crafting game like it is, but it got me thinking that way back in the day, wasn't there another game that had gotten a lot of hype as being Skyrim with guns? Do you remember that?
Wasn't that just Starfield?
No. This was a long time ago. It was like it was when Skyrim came out like 2011, 2010. And it was like right when Skyrim was like at its peak, and so it was like this open world. It was popular. I just can't remember what it was called.
Was it
Skyrim
Division?
with guns.
I don't think it's Division.
Like Skyrim with guns is a memorable quote by Adam Kovic of the Machinima YouTube channel comparing Skyrim with Far Cry 3. Okay,
Oh, okay.
there you go. Yeah, I was just curious because you see that a lot as kind of like a hype thing of like it's blank with blank, and it's like
Well, here's the thing. Did you ever play Pokemon Arceus?
yeah. Well, I didn't play it, but I had to sit there the whole time Mallory played it because our TVs are on top of each other, as you can see. But
That, when they say it's Pokemon with guns, they're referring to like everything about it is Pokemon. Yes, you can build bases, but nothing about it has like quest lines or anything. It is the most open world you can get. There's like one village and then there's like battle towers. So it's like
yeah,
if you know Pokemon Go, there was like the battle gyms or whatever, and it just looked like a tower. And at the top, there was a Pokemon that people would
yeah,
place.
yeah.
It's literally that,
I
but with
gotcha.
this. Pokemon with guns is not like it is a hype phrase, but it is accurate because you can give these pals guns and you just let them run around with the guns.
Yeah, no, I understand.
The base building isn't such a big deal. It just the only thing that has to do with it, I guess, is if you're in like a bigger multiplayer server, or if you wanted to have ease of access travel between like the different environments.
I gotcha.
They haven't added PvP yet. I think they said they will. But let's be honest. If we're gonna give a more accurate statement, it's gonna be this is Arc but Pokemon style.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
No, I agree with that. My whole take on it, I have seen it's both good because I can get a look at it, and unfortunate because I don't like the game very much. But I don't care for what I've seen of it. It just isn't my style. I ain't saying it's bad. Arc wasn't my style either. But what I will say is it has definitely been the newest overflowing of the YouTube marketplace. Likely streamers as well, but I don't watch streams, so.
Yeah.
But so it got me thinking and looking, and I was like, man, this
It's the new
game.
Minecraft.
Well, that's what I was saying. It's like every YouTuber I watch, I'd be like, oh, blah blah blah's got a new video, and it's PalWorld. Oh, blah blah made a new video, and it's PalWorld. Oh, blah blah did a 3-hour stream, and she played PalWorld. And I was just like, okay. So I finally gave in and started being like, all right, let's watch this. I don't care about it, but the only opinion I have been able to form for this is that I love chaos. And so with all the different like people being like, you copy this, you copy this, you copy blah blah blah, I just, considering how popular it has become and like what a huge thing, I just think it would be the biggest fucking tornado through the gaming industry in a while if all of a sudden they did just get like bombarded with fucking lawsuits and
Copyright.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like the thing is, I don't want them to fail. I don't root for. I couldn't give a shit less about the Pokemon Company either, but I adore chaos, and that would be some primo chaos.
This is what I think will happen, right? Hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
So someone in my friend group, I forget which one it was, said if Nintendo was going to do something about it, they would have already done it.
Yeah,
But here's the thing. Nintendo is notoriously known not to like mess with people until stuff releases.
that's fair.
Like until something comes out, they generally just leave it alone, which is why like ROMs are still a thing. Like yeah, they get taken down like Pokemon Uranium or whatever. But it
Yeah.
wasn't until they had like a major like debut then it got taken down.
Yeah.
It seems like most of these people have not seen or heard of PalWorld until it released. And so, not saying, the Pokemon Company didn't know, right? Nintendo
Yeah.
didn't know. They probably did. They probably just didn't care enough. They were like, oh, it's not Pokemon, so it doesn't matter. Our fans are going to enjoy Pokemon, not this knockoff. But the thing is even if you don't like it, right?
Yeah.
It is definitively a better Pokemon game than any Pokemon game that has come out since like X and Y. In my opinion, it's better than any 3D any 3DS Pokemon game or Pokemon game from the Switch. Just any of them.
I wholeheartedly disagree, but
That's fine. The reason why I say that is because it's just for instance, with those games, each generation it gets bogged down with text, right? It's just like, I don't want to listen to like fucking 20 minutes worth of text telling me the same exact shit. They did a better job when it was pixels. And that is biased. It is biased. I understand that. But the idea that, everyone over the internet, a majority is saying we like PalWorld. The fact that it moved up to number 1 best-selling on Steam, number 1 most played, is like that's a fact. You know what I mean? Like it has more players than probably a Pokemon game has at launch.
I feel that.
And what I don't want this to dissuade people from playing Pokemon. I want this game to light like a fire under Nintendo and Game Freak so that the next Pokemon game that they release is the best one they released. That's what I want to happen.
I can understand that.
And it's like, yeah, they could get copyright striked, they could be taken down, but the audience has already had a taste of it. They're like, this was a better game. They've already had a taste of what a Pokemon game could be. Now, to be fair, it's not going to be a Pokemon game with guns. That's just not Nintendo's style.
Yeah.
But using this as not an inspiration, but as a competition can definitely help them because as we've discussed before, the Pokemon Company isn't like thriving because it has competition and it's progressing. It's thriving because people grew up with it and through nostalgia.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That's what I want to happen. I want Nintendo to be like, this game did so well, why aren't we getting those sales? And then immediately, give Game Freak all the support it needs to make a better Pokemon game.
I can understand that. The thing is, it's like I disagree because I thoroughly love Pokemon Sun and Moon, and I thoroughly love Pokemon. What was the one before Scarlet and Violet? Sword and Shield. I really love both those games more than any of the Pokemons I played when I was younger, up to a point. But I don't want it to fail because I have any ill will towards them. I just want them to fail because chaos. Like, I don't want them to even fail. Like, if they just fail, that's boring as hell. I want like the destruction of the gaming industry to come from it. You know, like I just want pure anarchy and chaos. That's what we need to shake it all up.
I can see that. So let me ask you this. What was the first Pokemon game you ever played?
Red and blue. Yellow.
Red and blue?
Yeah.
Okay. Because in terms of like Pokemon, right?
Mm.
I have played like each one that has come out. And I can definitively, I can tell you where I stopped liking it. And it was, like, I semi-enjoyed X and Y. But Sun and Moon I hated. Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon I hated. The Switch games are just not fun to me.
I feel you.
And it's sort of like, if this game... Okay, for instance, Arceus. The thing I didn't like about Arceus is, again, the catching. I think we talked about it before. I didn't like just all the quests having to deal with catching the same thing over and over.
Yeah, I didn't like Arceus personally, but
we agreed on that. But this game has the same style of gameplay in general. If you take out if you just leave it with the Pokemon,
yeah,
and you don't compare base building, because I don't know if Arceus had that.
I don't think it did.
It takes the Pokemon from the POWs in this. It does the same exact thing, and it works. It's fun. You don't have to catch things over and over again to get stuff done. Generally, there isn't any achievements or like quests at all. Like, there's a tutorial in the beginning where it's like, it's an optional one. It doesn't hold your hand. It just tells you in the top, hey, if you do this, you get this.
Yeah.
But you don't even have to do that. It's self-explanatory. Like, you hit rock, you hit wood, you catch Pokemon. That's it.
I feel you. Yeah, as I got older, not necessarily because of the games, just for a long time, Pokemon didn't interest me, and I stopped playing. The first one I didn't play was Black and White, and then for a long time I didn't have a console that played them. So, and I wasn't up on my completely legal emulation process. But I when I went back and played Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun, actually, I really, really liked that enough that I was like, oh, I'll go back. And there is like a period where it's like starting with the DS Pokemon games and then ending with like Ultra Sun, where it's like Black and White 2, X and Y. I didn't like any of those. And so I was like, well, maybe they did it good
I would
again.
like to say, I'm pretty sure throughout the Pokemon community, Black and White and Black and White 2 are said to be the best Pokemon games made.
I wholly disagree, but that's okay. I'm not in the Pokemon community.
And like, I know you played the first, Red, Blue, or whatever, but I don't particularly see you as a person who grew up with Pokemon, because you didn't play it. You didn't play like each generation, if that makes sense.
I mean, I played all of them up till, like I said, Black and White, so that's pretty far. That would have, because when did this come out? Black and White came out in 2010, so I would have been 17. So,
but earlier you said you didn't play it when they came out.
I know. I'm saying Black and White was the first one I didn't play when they launched.
Okay.
So like when they came out, I did not get them, and then I stopped playing Pokemon until I revisited it.
I feel like the only reason I have strong opinions about it is because since Black and White, I sort of, playing the other ones, I sort of lost that fire of liking them. I'm just like, oh, that's a thing from my childhood. I like it still, but I don't enjoy playing it anymore. But I like it because it was there, when I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
But it seems like playing this game has like reignited that.
Yeah.
I feel like that's why I have the strong opinions that I do about it.
Weren't you at some point doing some kind of playthrough of Pokemon on your channel?
I'm doing a playthrough of X and Y on my channel.
Didn't you
I
just say you
don't.
didn't like X and Y? Oh no, I
I
said I didn't
said
like
that.
X and Y.
I
You said that
said,
was one of the last ones you kind of liked.
yeah. I kind of like it because I don't know. It's right there where it started to get handholdy, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's as handholdy as all the ones that came after it. Plus, when it gets to the text, I'm literally just, if you watch the first episode, I'm like, all right, I go here to get my rival. Just skip all the text.
Yeah, I know. I feel that. I actually it doesn't work for some of them, but a lot of times, what really helps me play those any kind of like earlier handheld or like SNES JRPG or anything like that, especially is that handy dandy fast forward button most emulators have, where
Yeah.
everybody they'll start like, man, I beat a fan translation of the first 3 Fire Emblems like within the last couple of months, and literally it was just, it's like, I appreciated all your hard work with the translations, but fast forward fight, fast forward fight.
I really love,
And Martha's King, we made it.
what was I going to say?
Sorry.
I like giving all Pokemon games a try because you never know when they're going to release one that you're going to enjoy again.
You could say you're gaga for it.
So I really hope that, with the release of PalWorld, no matter what they end up doing against it, they can learn from it. That Pokemon, people want something new, not just the same old stuff that's more handholdy. Because I think they're catering to another younger audience so it can grow with it again. But there's still an audience out there that wants a more mature Pokemon game
Yeah.
that isn't handholdy. So if they can they give out 2 different versions. If they could just be like, this one is the version that has handholding and this one isn't.
I can understand that. Or just even an option in the thing, just like start the game,
That's
do
true.
you want help? It's like, no, I'm good. It's Pokemon.
I don't
It's
want
been the
any
same for
tutorial.
26 years.
Don't want any
You know,
of it.
I will say one thing. Like I said, I didn't care too much for Scarlet and Violet. I would say I would have liked Scarlet and Violet a lot better if they ran at all. Like if they
Yeah.
didn't just run like garbage. But I really, really liked Sword and Shield, and I did not buy it, but I have seen it, and I really like the DLC that came out for Sword and Shield. They have one called the Crown Tundra, where it's like a new map you go to, and
played
it's
it. It's really
yeah,
nice.
it's like every other game's like legendaries are there and stuff, and I thought that was really cool, and I really enjoyed like the concept of all that. I didn't get any of the DLC for either of them though, because there was 2 DLCs
Yeah.
that came out for the other one as well, but I didn't, because
The,
they didn't look like they really added like Pokemon or anything, because they both had pretty like low score like ratings and stuff.
So, being a D&D, like I love D&D. I love the history of, just medieval times, dark ages, whatever. Sword and Shield was set up to be my favorite Pokemon game just
Well, it
because
doesn't
of
take place
that
in
setting.
medieval times. It's just in like England.
Yeah, I know that, but it's the same, like it's the setting, right? The setting, because Eternus is in there and it's like this giant evil dragon legendary Pokemon and stuff like that.
When
It had
Jacob went to
the
London, he wondered why
building
everybody wasn't
blocks.
screaming, "Bring out your dad!"
No, it has the building blocks to be my favorite
Yeah.
Pokemon game, but it's like it took the building blocks and threw them across the floor.
I was playing with those Legos, man. Not anymore. Now
Would
you have
you
to
like
go beat
to-
up John for the 4th time.
Would you like to intro us?
I'm
Hawks.
about to take a sip of water. Good time. Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is the Fluffy Biscuits podcast. My name is Zach. You can find me at Pixelated Trash. I'll have a YouTube content coming out soon, finally. And I am joined by, as always, my good friend Jacob and co-host. You can find him at NazirTL on YouTube. You can also find us on Twitter at Fluffy Biscuits Podcast. Actually, it's at Fluffy Biscuits with 3 Fs.
Yeah, because Fluffy Biscuits is taken.
We had to make it work.
We got there.
So I have a small list of things, and okay. So there's one. This one's small, but I wanted to bring it up. Are you aware of who Darude is?
Darude Sandstorm?
Yeah, he did the song.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know... So first off, do you know what country he's from? I think it's interesting.
Dubai.
He is from Finland. But more importantly,
Oh, shit.
Darude is actually the third name he had as a performer. And do you want to guess what Darude actually is? Like what it means? Like,
What does it mean?
it means Darude boy. Like Darude boy. And that's where he came with Darude from. And
to be fair, me and my friends say, why you gotta be so Darude all the time, so it makes sense.
Darude? Don't you know I'm human too? That's fair. Okay, so that was small, but I had something else I wanted to... Oh, shit. I had something else that I wanted to actually bring up, and it is a game. Have you heard, and perhaps you have, we have conversations over text that I don't always remember. Have you heard of Void Train?
Void Train?
Yes, on Steam. I'm about to link it to you. This game looks amazing. Looks
Is
exactly
it a
like
side-scroller game?
This is not a porn game, by the way.
Okay, good, because you were linking me those the other day. During the recording.
Hey, it was like 2. I don't remember how many, to be honest. But yeah, this game looks wild. So it's not really an open
Looks
world.
like BioShock.
It's a survival co-op game up to 4 people, and you build this giant like diesel train, and you build it up as you're like going, and as you can see, you're like in the air and like through space and stuff, and you have to use like a little grappling hook. It's very similar to like Raft, except you use a grappling hook to like float around and like pick shit up. I just wanted to know if you'd heard of it, because while I was looking into PalWorld, this got recommended to me by Steve, and I was like, this looks pretty fucking cool.
I have not heard of it at all.
Huh.
I still want to play Raft with you again.
That part's fair. But now we could be Raft on a train.
I don't have money for train.
That's fair. I can't afford a train.
I spend money on knockoff Pokemon.
I spent my hard-earned money on PalWorld. No, I feel that though.
It does look cool. Like I'm not taking that away from you. I do think it would be a fun game for me, you, and possibly even Josh and another person to play together.
That's fair. This is a complete side note, but I've been playing a game called Kingdom Come Deliverance.
That's a good game.
Yeah, I really like that game. But I haven't ever gotten about more than halfway through it, and then during the PlayStation sale, I bought all the DLC. So I've been playing that a lot, and my version has a small glitch where people will they're not always speaking English to me. And what'll happen is it'll like come up and be like, they'll speak in English, but then their subtitles will be in Czech, or sometimes they'll come up and start speaking in Czech, and then their subtitles will still be in Czech. And
I think
like,
I could buy the game and all of its DLC for $8 on Steam right now.
That's fair. I have it on Steam with all its DLC. I just bought it on... I already owned it on PS4, so I bought all the DLC on PS4 so I could play it while laying in bed. Oh. And not at this very uncomfortable chair.
I use my monies for workout stuff now. It was, I'm going to tell you right now, it was a debate on whether I was going to get PalWorld. Because I was like, do I risk it? Do I risk not having pre-workout?
Risk it for the biscuit, as they say.
Yes.
Did you need to risk it for the biscuit?
Yes. Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Sometimes I call Jacob just in the middle of the night, and I'm like, hey, are you over there risking your biscuit? And he's like, please stop calling me at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Please, I'm going to block your number. Shit. The do you okay? You have a Sheets near you or around you. You've been to one before, right?
I have been to a Sheets that is not near me though.
Okay. Have we talked about this before? What if you did your Sheets like sell food?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Because
Sheets I went to was when I was staying with family in McLean, Virginia. So
oh,
there was a Sheets nearby there that I could walk to.
Sheets is amazing. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because my mind all week has just been like, we need to get Sheets. We need to get some Sheets.
Yeah, Jacob's just actually been sleeping on an exposed mattress for years. At this point, he's just got to do something.
No. The it's like okay. I remember you telling me before that you made an unholy burger from like Wendy's. And you just put like everything on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that it was either Wendy's or Burger King, but yes, I ordered every customization thing you could get from it,
And
and
you
like
put
the
like
extra
the double
patties.
smoke stuff on it.
Yeah, yeah, it was kind of wild. It wasn't expressly good, just to clarify.
Yeah, I remember I remember you specifically telling me that you didn't like it. You took a few bites of it and then you were like, I'm not eating any more of this. And you tried to give a little bit to your cat and your cat was like, no.
Yeah,
And
nah,
just walked off.
Miso wasn't about it either. What I ended up doing was baby birding it, and I turned the burger over, took the bottom bun off, and just ate the meat with my bare hands.
What the
That was
fuck?
that's how the burger ended, and then I threw everything else away
That's fucked
because the
up.
meat was all right.
But the reason why I think of that is because whenever I think of Sheets, they also have like the customize your burger option, but they also have the burrito option. You make your own burrito or whatever. Noah, sometimes we'll grab food before D&D, and sometimes, we're a bunch of dudes. We get unholy food combinations. Now, I don't because I'm a picky eater, but the I delve into the why the fuck would you get this area, and it's the waffle bun for a burger, and I just
Oh
like
yeah,
double
yeah,
all
yeah.
the meat.
We've talked about that before, and also we've talked about. I think you said you also don't like. I know you said you like that, but I think you were saying you don't like like the donut bun thing. Because I remember I said I didn't. I thought you were in agreement with that. I agree
I
that the waffle buns are okay though.
I probably wouldn't get it because I don't like donuts as much as other people.
I'm not a fan either.
Well, Noah, there was this one time, and I preface one time, but it was actually two times.
Because he didn't live for it to happen again.
He's done it multiple times. I can't count, but we were sitting there, and he
Those are
looks
two
over at
separate
me.
statements he made, by the way, for everyone out there.
Yeah, he looks at me and he goes, "I think I'm gonna get a lot of food. I'm really hungry. I haven't eaten. I didn't eat yesterday. This is my first meal of the day." And I'm like, "Go, okay. Why'd you have to lean over and tell me that?" And he's like, "Because I didn't want you to be shocked by what came out with my order." When I
Get
tell
after
you
it.
he got a burrito the size of a child, I mean it. They couldn't even wrap the burrito up in like one piece of tinfoil. They needed like three.
Oh,
And when
Lord.
he pulled it out, the burrito wasn't even closed.
I imagine.
And we're all just
Oh,
looking at
beans.
him at the D&D table. We're like, God damn, Noah. What the fuck are you eating right now? Just in total shock.
Don't judge me, I'm hungry.
Man. Like, if you had burritos the size of your head, it would be terrible. Okay. I would also like to say that recording this podcast the other Saturday actually saved me from a traumatic experience for the rest of the group.
Well, that's fair.
Can I go into further detail? Because it's also funny.
Sure.
All right.
Make sure to give names, addresses, birth dates, social security numbers.
So, Noah, we always pick on Noah because he waits to use the bathroom until he gets the D&D like an hour in or whatever, and then he'll leave and he'll go sit up there for like 30 minutes taking a dump.
Fair.
And he comes back down. Well, while I was sitting here recording this with you, I remember getting a text message. And the text message went like someone was posting something, and then Noah responded, and then the people in the basement where we play D&D responded, "You've been up there for 30 minutes. Get off your phone and come back down so we can play the game." And I start laughing, but when I go to D&D the next day, I realize it was because Noah like basically chugged like a gallon of chocolate milk. And then went to use the bathroom, and when he came back downstairs, our other friend Josh, not one that you met, but he's like huddled against the wall, lighting a napkin to get the smell out of the basement because you could smell it through the floorboards.
Man,
so he's like
rough.
doing like the sage, just back, get away.
Oh, poor Noah.
It was so funny. Hearing
Probably
that story
should've
when
let
I came back, it was great.
Man, I love hearing about your failures, everybody. Bye.
Yeah, it was great. It was
No, I can imagine. Not the end of the world. Worse things have happened. So let me ask you a weird question. When you... I'm sure we've talked about this in some way, shape, or form, but when you listen to music, right?
Yeah.
Do you listen to like one... Like, not all the time, of course, but like if you discover like a new band or something, will you listen to like an album like front to back just to see, or will you like pick through their catalog to be like, let's see what's actually interesting in here? Or will you just kind of give like a whole album a go?
I'm getting my fucking headset cord. Give me a second. I tend to, if I find a song that I like from them, whatever songs are recommended on YouTube next to them that they've done, I'll listen to. I'll give them a try.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I was just curious because I'm pretty big into like music while I'm Ubering and stuff, of course. And I recently realized that like I'm on like a lot of subreddits that talk about music, like just the genres I'm interested in. And I noticed that there's a like a lot of people be like, yeah, man, that whole album was great, front to back, or like blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking, I'm like, man, I can't even remember the last time I heard like a full band's album front to back. Like the newest Hot Mulligan album I listened to front to back. But even then, it's like I like most of the songs, but I didn't go back and re-listen to most of them. You know what I mean? I picked like the 2, 3, 4, 5, however many I liked off it, threw them onto a playlist, and then kind of forgot the album existed.
Have you ever heard of Tame Impala?
I have heard of it. I don't know if it's a person or a band or what genre they are.
Oh, that's the people I've been like I found recently and been listening to. I think there's only a few people that I've ever like listened to all the songs that they have, and that would be Breakins. I think also Linkin Park, and then also Rainbow Kitten Surprise.
What
Have
an
you ever heard of them?
eclectic taste. I feel like that name is actually vaguely familiar to me.
They're a good band.
Sex Club or whatever.
You should listen to them. They have some of my favorite music. Like sometimes, if I don't know what to listen to, like if I'm not feeling anything, sometimes I'll just like put them on. Rainbow Kitten Surprise. I'll just put them on and let it play.
I feel you. But I guess that's why I was curious, is because, like I said, I was just seeing people, like, somebody makes a post like, what do you think's the greatest album by this band, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, yeah, front to back, I can listen to that whole album. It's like, man, I just don't know if I could. I get like ADHD bored of like hearing the same band over and over and over again. That's why I don't go to concerts really. Because like I know I'd probably enjoy seeing all these bands live that I like live, but the concept of being out there and then having to just be like, yep, and I'm gonna get 40 more minutes of this. It stopped being interesting about 10 minutes ago.
So
Like
Tame Impala is actually, it's an Australian band, and it's psychedelic rock, I think.
It's got to be really hard playing music in Australia because you got to hold the guitar upside down.
You know. Okay. What is rainbow? I'm trying to see what kind
I was
of.
gonna say Jacob's on one of his patented Googling kicks. See where this gets us.
It's just an indie rock band, alternative indie rock band.
For some reason, all I found was clips of RoboCop.
The fuck?
I was trying to help too.
How? What the fuck?
You good?
Yeah. No, I'm saying what the fuck to you. How'd you find
Nothing.
RoboCop?
I was joking.
Okay. The
God. Where did you?
There was
find
another
RoboCop
game I
from?
had seen earlier in the week that I wanted to talk about, but it's gone.
Well, that's not great.
No, it's not. Oh, we can talk about this.
Please
So, do you know who Jack Reacher is in like the
Yeah,
the
I actually
show?
love that. I love that show. Alan Rickman plays him. I love that show.
Did you see season 2?
Not yet. I have not seen season
Okay, season 2 came out. It's great. That's all I'll say then.
Fair.
We can talk about the first season if you want to, though.
I was gonna say not much to talk about there.
We can talk about the first season.
Topic up, topic down. I actually really liked the first season. I thought the thing about Jack Reacher is he is definitely just a dude's circle jerk of like badass, right? But sometimes that's just fun, and it is just fun. But more importantly, fucking it reminds me of the Tom Cruise Jack Reacher movies, right? And I hate the comparison because like Jack Reacher's described as being this big, like brawny guy that can like, he's like Rambo essentially in the books. And then in the movie, you've got like fucking 5'5", 180 pounds soaking wet Tom Cruise, just like, here I am to be the cool guy.
Yeah. Alan, is it Rickman or is it Richardson?
I think it's Richardson. Alan Rickman was the guy that played Snape.
Yeah. Richardson or whatever. He does a really good job because if you know what he's like actually like in person, right?
I've heard he's a good guy. I don't think of him being like a man's man kind of person, but
he actually seeing stuff from where like he's just walking around, he seems like a goofy, like bubbly guy. And it's so funny to see like the stark contrast of the two because he's apparently, he likes talking a lot. Like he'll hold up lines just talking to people.
No,
Very
I feel
social.
that. Yeah, he seems like a really good guy, and it gives me a lot of vibes of like John Cena, like after he made his kind of well, help me out here, made his like trade to go from wrestling to acting.
Yeah.
Especially with like I got this Peacemaker. He's fucking hilarious in that show. John Cena, I mean, not Alan Richardson. I'll Google his name at some point and figure out if we're saying it right.
Alan Richardson was also in Fast 10. That's crazy.
I believe that. He's got the body for it.
Yeah, well, it doesn't take a good actor to be in a Fast and Furious movie.
No,
it
doesn't.
just takes you to be ripped as fuck.
I guarantee you, give yourself another year of your protein powder shakes and stuff, and you could probably get in Fast 12.
What? He was in Brooklyn Nine-Nine? What the fuck?
I have never seen that show, but I've heard really good things about it.
Yep. It's very sad that the
actor from I forgot his name too, but I know the actor you're
Captain
talking about.
Holt. I know that's not his real name, but Captain Holt passed away. It was very sad.
I like the pause there. Captain Holt. Well, that wasn't his real name, but Captain Holt.
He's in Alan Richardson is in a lot of stuff actually. I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
he's been an actor much longer than I thought he was. Like, for some reason, I thought he was like a John Cena type. Like, he did something else kind of physical. Maybe he was like a football player or something. But he's actually been acting like for a long career. Alan Richson, that's how you say it. Cool. Oh, he was on fucking Smallville. He was Aquaman.
He's also in Titans. Blue
Oh,
Mountain
yeah,
State. I don't know what that is.
What'd you say?
Blue Mountain State.
Oh, Blue
You know what
Mountain
that is?
State. It's like, isn't that the comedy? Yeah, it's like a it's not a comedy, but it's like a, how do I describe it? It's like a parody of all those weird ass, like, come on, help me out. You know what I'm talking about? Like the
American
Friday
Pie?
Night Lights and stuff.
Oh.
Like the high school football comeback stories, that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay. It's
like
a sitcom
Blue
of
Mountain
it.
Yeah, it's a parody of that kind of stuff.
Is it good?
I've heard good things about it. I watched the first couple episodes when it was streaming on Netflix. I don't know if it's still on Netflix, but I have not watched it in a very long time.
Alan Richson. I've been on a. Okay, so I've been on a real Survivor kick. I think we've talked about this before.
We did, yes. Last episode. Well, not at last episode, the episode before last.
I've watched a lot of it since then. An unhealthy amount. Like, I just have it on in the background. One thing I realized is that I can now spot who on the show is just an asshole. And I'm not going to say who. Because I don't want to dox myself. But there is someone on the show that comes from my hometown.
Oh, that's funny.
And he, like, looking at him, I'm like, yeah, he looks like he's from my town. Just like the look on him. And there is like a palpable just, I don't like that guy just looking at him. Like, I know for a fact that dude's an asshole. And like, he was on the show like years ago. Not recently, it's a long time ago. And you know, he's older now. And he's doing other stuff, and I go and I look at him as newer stuff, and I'm like, damn, I still don't fucking like him. I'll tell you more about it like off podcast, but I think it's really funny because I'll look at him and I'll be like, he looks like a genuinely like just a not decent human being, and he acts like it too. But then moving on, there's someone named like Russell who I look at, and in the game he seems genuinely like bad. But here's something wild. I don't know if we talked about it. We could have. I don't want to repeat myself too much, but Russell was on season 19, which is Samoa, which is Hawaii.
Hey, can I just real fast?
Yeah.
I would like to not address this, right?
Yeah.
But tell me if this is who you're talking about. Because this is the first thing I found Googling that. Just the name is pretty.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. Well, Russell, he was on season 19, right? Mm-hmm. And then he also was on season 20. Now the thing is Russell's a great player. He's an amazing player. So much so that in both seasons, these are old seasons, by the way. These are like 10, 15 years old. I don't care.
I figured that out through the Googling.
He was on both seasons. He got to the top 3 both times. Which the top 3, if getting to the top 3 is essentially you've won the surviving aspect of it. Because at that point, it's not even in your hands.
At that point, they actually let you eat.
They do. They do let you eat. They also, you have to basically present why you should win to 10 other people that played the game with you. And you have to get their vote, and that's how you win. But
what if you just do all that and you decide that it's just not worth it? And you're like, eh.
You could. But he got to the top 10 both times, but his gameplay is not made for getting people to vote for him is the bad thing. It's made to take him all the way to the top. But what he
So he's
does
just kind
there,
of a dick.
yes. But
Fair.
the thing is in season 19 he was kind of a dick. But he was the incarnate of chaos. He was just doing little things behind the scenes to get the other contestants to be unhappy and
That's what
not
they
be
called
on
me
their
in
A game.
kindergarten.
But then the thing about season 19-20 is they were filmed like a week apart from each other. So that means he went 39 days, went back to his hotel for like a week, and then went right back out there for another 39 to 40 days and starved again.
I'm back, motherfuckers.
So, but if you look at it from the start of season 19 to the end of season 20, you can actually see how it's actually affecting him, because he's very subtle with the way he acts in season 19, but as it gets to like maybe a quarter of the way through season 20, you're like, holy shit, this man's going off the rails. Like, he'll just start yelling at people for no reason. That's not how he acted in season 19. And it's like, it's because he's out there starving. He's in like survival mode for sure now. And I'm just
You
like,
just
what
see
the
him
fuck?
like, you see him like descending from a tree. He's like, I've made a grave error.
I made a grave error. But I don't know.
I
It's
smell a
just
Snickers
interesting.
bar.
There's
he
a lot
breaks
of
in like a fucking bear into the producer's like RV, and he's like, I smell chili.
well.
Just crashes through the window.
There was one point where, like, when they voted off a girl, she went back to the hotel, and apparently someone at the hotel told him, like, when it was all over, he was like, yeah, she was genuinely afraid that you were gonna, like, assault her, like, just beat her up because you were yelling at her. And he's like, I was yelling at her, but I wouldn't have done that.
That's fair.
And I'm pretty sure it wasn't until recently, and I know this because he came on the Will Neff's show a year ago, that I just watched it and Will Neff interviewed him. It wasn't until Will Neff streamed his seasons of Survivor that Russell went back and actually watched them, and he was like, holy shit. He's like, no wonder people didn't like me on that game. I was a menace. I don't even like the way I acted in season 20 of that game. And I'm like, it's crazy. It's wild.
Retrospect can always be appreciated. All right, well, we're going to retrospectively end this episode. So thank you all so much for watching. Remember, if you watched us on YouTube, you can listen to us on Spotify. If you listen to us on Spotify, you can find us on YouTube at the Fluffy Biscuits Podcast. You can also find us on Twitter at Fluffy Biscuits. You can find me on YouTube, Zach at Pixelated Trash. You can find Jacob on YouTube and Twitter at NazirTL. And we thank you all so much for watching. Bye.